I'm feeling good today, guys. In this video, we're going to be feeding all of my reptiles. Here we go, roll intro. So before we get into this video, we're going to be feeding all of my reptiles. I've got Savannah monitors, big boa constrictors, leopard geckos, baby leopard, I've got everything. We're going to feed them all in this one video. But before we do, my name's Richard if you are new around here. This channel is called Northern Exotics and we deal with everything reptile related, whether it be specific species care, breed your own live food, amazing little reptile hacks that are gonna save you a fortune in the long run. If this is something you're interested in, I'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. While you're there, please hit that notification bell so that you get notified next time I do upload a video. Let's start and feed some animals. So today, for the live food, we have got superworms. What's going to be having superworms? Firstly, if you want to learn how to breed your own superworms, because that's exactly what I do. I've just got these straight out of my superworm farm. So they're all homegrown. They've all gut loaded to the max with my own way of doing things. If you want to learn more about how to breed superworms, just click on that card just there. That'll take you straight through to a video that says how to breed superworms. It's dead informational, it's great. But we're going to start, oh, no, wait there. What were we going on about? Oh yeah, what's going to be having the superworms? We've also got crickets out of the cricket farm if we run out of superworms. But Hugo down there, he's going to have superworms. We have got the bearded dragon Diego, he's going to have superworms. We have got some leopard geckos, the male breeder leopard gecko and the two females. They're going to be having superworms. And we'll see how big the baby leopard geckos are, see whether they want superworms. I think they're probably a little bit too small for superworms, so they're probably going to stick to mealworms for those guys. I think there's 5 babies. We'll see how they get on in the long run. And then we're going to move on. We've got some snakes. We've got up here, Popcorn. He's our Carl sunglow boa constrictor. He's possibly going to be the first one that we feed. And he's going to be feeding on a rat. We've got a sunglow, not a sunglow. We have got Rosie. She was sold to me as a red-tail boa constrictor, but to be fair, I actually generally think she's just a normal boa constrictor. If you see my eyes going like this, that's because she's just behind the camera just there. She's going to have a rat. We have got Charlie, the raw python. You Americans might call them bull pythons. He's our super pastel yellow belly raw python. He's going to be getting a rat. And yeah, we're just going to go from there and just see what else happens. We have got some tarantulas to feed. We have got a Scoloparendral black flame. He's going to get fed. Whether he takes it there and then, it's all a bit mismatched. We never know what's going to feed, what's not going to feed, all that sort of stuff. But right, straight into it. Let's go for Popcorn, the Carl sunglow boa constrictor. Now I'm a bit dubious with feeding him, especially strike feeding him. Let me just play you a clip from my last feeding video that I did with him. He just sort of keyed into my hand. I don't know whether it was the temperature of my hand, but he just went for it. Yeah, so I'm just going to drop feed him. I like my hands far too much. I work with my hands, I can't lose them. He's going to get drop fed, so we're going to just put it in there and he's going to come out and take it hopefully, and we'll get that on footage for you and all that sort of stuff, but we'll see how it goes. Let's go and feed Popcorn. There's Popcorn. He's tucked up behind the back of Mr. Buddy McButterface, whatever he is. We're going to probably move that, oh no, we can't move the log out of the way simply because it's attached to this big climbing apparatus thing that he likes. So we're going to drop the rat right next to him, just see what happens. So there we go, the rat's put right next to him. We'll see what happens. I would assume he's going to do the typical boa thing of slowly come out. I mean, he knows there's food there, but I don't know if his heat receptors can pick up the actual rat because it is just room temperature. It looks like he's just going straight past it and he can get the heat reception off my hands once again. Now this is the reason that I've drop fed him. That, and I've done the normal Northern Exotics thing of leave my tongs somewhere else. So I don't even have me feeding tongs. All I've got is a poxy little pair of forceps. I really am going to have to sort out some better tongs for him. But yeah, here he is. He's just gone straight past the rat. He's lounging around on top of the actual log. I've closed the glass over just because I don't want him to come out and get my hand, just in case it is heat receptive to my hand. But look at him, he's keyed into something, and like I say, I just reckon it's my hands.
It's the typical boa thing of just keying into it and just staying there. You can see he's got that little bit of tongue flicker, but not too much. He is really concentrated on that one object. He will take the rat eventually once he realises exactly where it is. But until then, I think we're just going to leave him in the enclosure just like that. We'll go down and shall we feed Hugo?
So while we wait for Popcorn to take that drop-fed rat, we're going to go down and do underneath Hugo. We are going to feed Hugo now. He's on a superworm diet for today. Let's give him some.
So here we are back into the enclosure with Hugo. Hugo's our Savannah monitor. He's absolutely amazing. I really do stress on the correct diet for these guys. They're insectivores by nature. If you want to see a specific video on how to care for these amazing creatures, I'll stick it in the cards directly above now, so you can just click on that and go through a little wander and see how to care for these if you are thinking of getting one, because they are a big commitment and there's so much misinformation out there for these guys. But at the minute he's feeding on superworms. These are my homebred ones, which I've already linked in this video, so I'm not going to do it again. But absolutely amazing creature. They're covered in a calcium dust because he's not having his nutrients today. He's just on calcium sprinkled over these insects. But look at him. We like to give him a little bit of exercise because that's one of the biggest or sort of common problems with Savannah monitors. They can get something called fatty liver disease, and that's mainly caused through captivity.
Just heard a bang and check it out. He's got it.
I knew he'd take that rat as soon as I moved away. Took away my body heat, my heat reception away from him, and he keyed straight into the rat and bang. That's going to be one happy boa with that meal. Let's move back. So back to Hugo. The amazing, I can't say amazing any more times, amazing Hugo. He's our Savannah monitor, like I've said. And where was I? Oh yeah, we were talking about fatty liver disease. Now that's a disease only caused in captivity. And that's because in the wild, these are monitor lizards. They run around the savannas all day long, monitoring, trying to catch food, just constantly burning off an awful lot of energy. If you don't give them enough space in captivity, or give them the incorrect diet in captivity, they're just going to get fatty liver disease and die. You could be giving them all the calcium, making sure that they're not getting metabolic bone disease, which is another common problem. There we go. I've gave him some crickets and look at him running around. Give him a bit of exercise, chasing everything around. He really does love the enrichment of chasing down these bugs. I really can't wait to get him into his new, bigger sized enclosures. If you want to know more about the Savannah monitor diet in detail, I'll stick a card right above now. Just click on that. That'll go through absolutely everything. But we're going to leave Hugo here now.
Wasn't that fantastic? Hugo's eaten. He's had a really good meal, a nice healthy meal thanks to my gut-loaded homebred superworms. He also had a few crickets as well, which was amazing. And Popcorn has got her meal. He's still coiled up around his meal just there. You can see why I don't particularly like to dangle feed him. Strike feed, you know what I mean. So he's up there having a nice munch on his meal. He's down there basking because he's had a good meal himself. Let's move on. Shall we do Diego the bearded dragon next? Let's go.
So this is Diego, our bearded dragon. We've had it, he's about 4 or 5 years old now in total. He was a couple of years old when we got him, and he's our longest serving reptile, so to speak. First reptile we ever got. An absolutely character and a half in this guy. He is absolutely amazing. I love the way he just stares at the bugs. He'll only take it whenever you want, and he'll only ever take hand-fed bugs as well. We just started hand feeding him, getting him used to handling and stuff like that, getting him used to our hand, because he was never handled beforehand. So getting him used to the hands, that's just the way we did it. That's an amazing background. I built that all myself. I wish I'd done a video on it, but I just never. I don't know why. But anyway, I'm rambling and rambling. Let's get back to Diego. There we go. Last one, mate. No, bye.
That was Diego. I am planning on doing a massive upgrade for his enclosure. Basically, when Hugo moves out of the 6-foot enclosure into his forever home, his big, massive enclosure that I'm yet to build. If you want to see that build, just hit the subscribe button. You know where it is. But when that's going to be Diego's enclosure, big 6-foot, 3-foot deep, 3-foot tall enclosure when Hugo moves out of it. I can't wait to sort it out. Fully bioactive. I'm really struggling to find a decent substrate that I can use for both the bearded dragons and the leopard geckos, because I want to move them into another enclosure. If you guys know of any decent bioactive style enclosure substrates that are actually decent for both leopard geckos and bearded dragons, even if it's two different ones or whatever, stick it in the comment section below. I'm really struggling to find a decent mix for them. Anyway, while we're talking about the leopard geckos, let's move on and check out them. This footage from the leopard geckos is so poor. I really wish I could have got a better lighting system for them, but the sun's going down and daylight is narrow, so I'm trying to rush around a little bit. Anyway, excuse the poor quality footage from this next piece with the leopard geckos.
So here we go, the leopard gecko twins. They're going to get a good scrubbing, clean out and everything. This is their breeder setup simply because I don't want any loose substrate in there for breeding season. I don't want any loose substrate getting into the hemipenal pouches of the male. Obviously there's no male in here, he's been taken out. He was only put in for breeding season, pulled back out. But there she is. This is a debate I'm looking into at the moment regarding lighting, naturalistic lighting. All these big companies, Arcadia and everyone, are doing all their lighting to replicate natural lighting, what they would get in the wild. But this isn't a naturally wild animal. You won't get blazing blizzards out in the wild, would you? So I'm wondering, is that natural lighting going to work for this amazing animal? I don't know. And I'm doing a lot of research into it. If you guys know of any knowledge on this topic, or if you're any more knowledgeable than me, please stick a comment down below and let me know if the naturalistic lighting, the proper UVB lighting for these guys, will actually work for a non-normal species. It's the same sort of thing with Popcorn, my sunglow boa constrictor, and Charlie, my super pastel yellow belly. They're not normal morphs, so would they not adapt well to naturalistic lighting in their enclosures? It's a topic I'm going on and on about. Anyway, doing a lot of research, I just can't find the knowledge that I want to find. I want a simple yes or no off a scientific researchable paper. But anyway, there's Donna, and this one's Millie. She's absolutely stunning. She was the first leopard gecko we ever got. She's just a bog standard, normal, 0 Hz leopard gecko. She's absolutely amazing. She really is. She's never not missed a meal. She produced some amazing eggs for us this year. This is the male. He's absolutely, again, a 0 Het normal male. I love the normal morphs. Just how they come out of the wild. And he is savage with his food. No matter when you put it in or how often you put it in, bang, straight away he goes for it. But these are on a superworm diet as well. I know they're extremely healthy superworms because I've bred them up to be healthy. But they're not the healthiest option of live food that you can go for. Look at that. He's just swallowed one, bang, straight in for it again. He is absolutely amazing. He really is. He's got a bald tail on him as well. Let's stop there with these.
The male leopard gecko wasn't too bad, admittedly, but the female leopard geckos, I really need to sort that enclosure out. It's shocking. But like I say, I've got a big 4-foot enclosure for them. I'm just looking for the right substrate before I can actually start doing it. And I'm just so picky and such a perfectionist. I need to find the correct, proper substrate, naturalistic, bioactive maybe substrate for the leopard geckos. Again, if you know any, stick it in the comments below. I really would love to see. But anyway, let's move on to one of the other boa constrictors. She's a bit smaller and she's called Rosie. Again, the footage isn't going to be amazing from this boa constrictor. It's just a lot darker in here than I'd actually like. But we'll see where we go. Again, she's just going to get drop fed. I'll probably taunt her out a little bit so she knows it's there, and I'll drop feed her because I don't like to promote the whole striking for food. It just adds a bit of a food aggression to it, if you get what I mean. Anyway, let's go and do Rosie.
Now Rosie, she's underneath her little hide thing. This is a 4-foot Exoterra because she's only about 4 foot herself. You can see her poking her head out there. Now she's been very, very food aggressive coming up towards the winter. Now the temperatures have started to cool down. I think her cool side has cooled down a little bit. So I'm just going to drop it in the side and just hope that she goes for it. Chances are she's going to do exactly what Popcorn did. Key into the hand temperature, my temperature, and go straight for that. And we'll see what happens. She is, like I said, getting quite food aggressive. She was sold to me as a red-tail boa constrictor, a Guyanan red-tail. I just think she's a normal. The more morphs, the more sheds she goes through, the more sort of normal she is looking. But yeah, I think she's a normal. But you can see her, she's keyed into my hand now. I hope she doesn't strike at me, but we'll see what happens. Here we go. I just really love it. Oh, she's looking straight at me. Ah, there we go.
Well, that's two snakes that have done the same thing, both boa constrictors. But anyway, I've left that in there. She'll find that in a few minutes. We'll come back to her and check on her in a minute or two. I really want to try and get the feeding aggression away from these guys. Drop feeding is just the way I've been advised to do it, so we'll see how that one goes. Where should we go next? Shall we do a couple of tarantula feeds? This is just one of our Brachypalma albipalossums, basically a curly hair tarantula. First ever tarantulas I ever owned. I got these ages ago and I love the Brachypalma genus ever since I have got these. But these are due a massive upgrade very shortly. I've got to build the whole background up on them. Live planted enclosures, they're going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to properly try and replicate Mexico with these guys. But let's see if they'll take it. Don't know how well you can actually see her, but she's got a bum in the hide there. That superworm is not getting away. Let's get her back. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Nice gentle takedown. Look at that. This girl's exactly the same. She's exactly the same, just a female version. I don't know how well you can see her, but we'll try and give her a feed. See if she'll run down the back corner and take that one. If not, I can always reposition it ever so slightly. Oh. She's an escape artist. We love to see. We have the lid on hand and a catch cup. Oh. There you go, another gentle takedown. Check these out now. Everything that's been fed so far is either basking under the heat, activating their stomach acid and obviously digesting the food, or still eating the food. Both the Rosie and Popcorn, they've both eaten quite nicely. They're still eating, which is absolutely amazing. Shall we move on?
So this one's Charlie. He's our super pastel yellow belly. Again, I am sorry for the poor footage. It's getting dark now. I haven't got some lights in there. And yeah, we're just going to drop it down on the cool side. And just see what she... Oh, straight away she went in and got it. I wish I would have got that on film because it was quite a big takedown for her. But we've never ever had problems with her feeding. She's gone in every single time and really nailed the food. And she has it down in seconds. She is definitely 1 in a million. She's not your normal ball python, is she? There's our Poecilotheria regalis enclosure.
The P. regalis, the one in the big bioactive enclosure, that he's just had a few crickets chucked in there. He'll chase them out. I never see him. The joy of a decent bioactive enclosure, you'll never see the animals. They're always hiding away. But anyway, come night time, when it gets a bit darker, he'll be out and he'll catch them. Shall we move on to the baby leopard geckos? Now, they don't need feeding massively. You won't see any strike responses. They just need their little food dish filling up, their water dish filled up and that sort of thing. So I'll just show them off to you, shall I? Here we go.
So they're just, this one, the first one, she's our oldest one that we've got. Obviously, we've got rid of a few of them. She's turned her hide upside down, this stupid pillow. She's proper destroyed her enclosure. Look at that one, properly in shed and in a moist hide. These twins are absolutely stunning. Again, they need a clean out, which they're going to get done any second now. But they look like they're just out of shed as well. They're so bright and vibrant. This fella is a screamer. He literally runs at you screaming in a defense mode.
And that right there, guys, is feeding all of my reptiles. Hope you've enjoyed. If you have, hit the thumbs up button, please. See ya.